Good morning, everybody. And you see, that is just a reflection of that in the mirror, in the picture. This is reflecting in that, so it's not like there's something wrong with that painting or like there's something on it. It's just this is reflecting in here. So because I see that spot, I'm like, what's that spot? But no, it's the reflection of my little drawn Native American shaman skeleton guy. So I'm just getting ready for work, and if you're new to my channel, this is Exploring the Ka with host Ra Castaldo, and I am Ra Castaldo, and I also have my own, getting my boots on for work, so excuse me. I also have my own radio show called Spiral Radio. On the mysticalspiral.com is my website, and my show is live every Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, on the Para-X radio network. That's P-A-R-A-X. I mean, no, P-A-R-A-X radio network. Wow. And it didn't break, this candle. Wow. What is going on this morning? I don't know how that fell by itself. So, yesterday was a really busy day at my job. Intense. My feet and my hands are killing me. I want to do more research before I talk about what I'm going into with Daniel of the Bible and how I feel he may have been possessed by one of these Goetia, one of these astral tricksters. And but what I wanted to really discuss right now before I leave is how I feel the military and what we think the MyLab abductions are taking place. Not only are they after our DNA, but they are working with cloning and soul transfers. And you know, on our you know, I can't say for sure, of course, but it's more than speculation. It's when I have this intuitive, extra sensory perception, sort of, the best way I can describe it, when something comes to me, my whole body is responsive, and it's just like this certain thing happens where I pretty much know it's like truth. And I really feel like they are trying to control and hijack our different bodies, like our soul time body, our astral time body, our spirit, our aura, you know, all of these, and seeing if they can almost make us like a drone in our material body, where since they are hijacking us astrally, it's going to make them be able to control us and basically manipulate what they want out of us in the physical plane. It doesn't always work the way they want it, because things happen, you know, people have changed their minds, they can overcome things, you know, then life occurrences can change their plans, all different things can go wrong, you know. So I basically want to, like, before I go, you know, I don't like to talk about MyLabs too much. You guys never really hear me talk about it until recently, but I've had MyLab experiences. I've talked about it in some of my interviews. I just don't like to go onto that topic. I really don't like, and a lot of the people that are associated with MyLabs, I find them too crazy, and not only too crazy, but too troubled as well, and they're not working on themselves. They just want to be, oh my god, this is what happened for me. And if you're famous only because you've been taken and experimented on, then why, like, you're famous for being a guinea pig? Like, do something with your life and then do an interview. No one wants to hear that you're a guinea pig in an interview. Like, you know, what's the outcome? Like, how did you overcome this? How did you, you know, help others? How did you, whatever, you know? I don't want to just hear that you're a victim, you know? Nobody should be famous for being a victim, you know? They should be famous for overcoming that and then applying it to something good in their lives, you know, or something like that. The one MyLab experience that I actually can recall some parts of it, because I was taken physically, that I know of. I think the others might have been like astral hijacking, you know, but the one time I for sure know I was taken in physical form, and my real, this physical material body was actually taken, was from, actually I was taken right from the Long Beach police, or handed over. I was knocked unconscious by a police officer while I was fighting in a holding cell. And you can hear the whole story on some of my old interviews. I don't really talk about it now in my interviews because I'm not going to tell the same story a million times. But basically, I only recall about 15 minutes of the experience, and I was gone possibly for a week, I think. I know when I was awake and they were trying to take my blood was coagulating and hardening, and they couldn't even get it out and into the vial, and they were pissed, you know, and there was nurses around, and what looked like megalithic cinder blocks, like we were underground, and they weren't just normal cinder blocks in the wall, they looked megalithic, like huge. And maybe it was because of my concussion and probably being drugged that it was so groggy and furry and fuzzy and everything. I mean, I was shackled to the wall, and my hands were shackled, my feet were shackled to each other, and my one arm, my one arm was shackled to the wall, and my 2 feet were shackled together, and my blood was coagulating. They were trying to take my blood, and they were also trying to convince me that I wasn't underground, and that I just hit my head and I slipped while I was in the jail cell fighting with another inmate and arguing with him. But I clearly saw when we were arguing in the cell, we were making a commotion in there. I clearly saw the police officer coming from the corner of my eye. As I was trying to turn around, I got hit with either a stick or a mag light or one of those big flashlights, something. But for years I didn't understand where I was. I was trying to figure out where I was underneath the ground. And now, after this happened in about 2002, 2003, now all these years later, I realized that we were beneath Catalina Island. And I'm doing research, but this is really inside info. I mean, no one really talks about it, but I feel that there is a base beneath Catalina Island where they do military abduction experiments, and they're working with soul transfer technology, possibly. Who knows what's going on down there? But even my boy Masaki, he's a good buddy of mine. He says that there are legends and possibly giants on Catalina Island as well, and that would really line up with seeing those big stoned walls underneath ground, because nothing can lift those rocks. Only a crane would possibly tip if they had that rock picked it. A crane would probably tip over. So when I say our 5 bodies, basically I'm talking about we have 5 bodies that form within our soul in each and every lifetime that we have. Only one out of those 5 bodies is your material body, is actually, you know, a physical in nature, you know, and the others are etheric or energetic, if you want to say, an energetic field and an auric field, you know, a spiritual field, a soul field. All of these different bodies have their it's like a etheric field. And basically if you would see the material body, they form a field around the body that outlines it. And you could see there's all different ones, you know, and there's a material body and then 4 fields outside of it. And you could see that it's the soul, the spirit, the aura, and the astral, you know. And so if you would be the material here, you know, you would have the astral layer over it, then the aura layer over that, and then the spirit, and then the soul. And the soul encloses them all and keeps them all within the body and in the inner being. And later on, in another future video blog, I'll get into more in depth of what each body consists of. But I feel that these military projects are working on these 5 bodies and how to tap into them and how to maybe even clone them, or how to use the abilities of them, you know, tap into your astral body so they can travel astrally, you know, or manipulate what you do in the astral, or who knows. But I'm gonna say later for now, and spiral out.